Hello, team, and welcome to episode 43 of Creative English 2025, The House That Grammar Built. Team, we are in the spookiest week of the year. Yes, Halloween week. And we will be talking about some spooky movies, some scary stories, and everything in between. But because this is not just all fun and games, we do have a grammar point, and we will be talking about this word right here, that. And I have noticed sometimes when I'm helping my students, often with the writing, then it's very visible, but that there'll be a lot of that. And it's fair because we can use that for many things. The movie that I watched, I can also say that sign right there and look at that. So there are a lot of different uses for it. So we're going to be working on finding some options to switch if you are using that too much. So here's your first challenge. Can you read this? I challenged all my students to read it with the correct intonation. I didn't get anybody who I can give a prize to, but here we go. It is true for all that refers to is not the same that refers to. And why do I have those trios of that? So we have, I guess, que, aquele, that in Portuguese. And why will we will not have a sentence with this many, not similar, but we will not have the same word this many times in Portuguese. We do have this problem with que. And how can we remove some that's with the relative pronouns? And that is a very flexible word. If you are speaking, do not worry about it. But if you are in a situation where A, you can prepare what you're saying, or B, where you will be writing and have time, I do think you can add one or two of these to kind of enrich your English. So let's take a look. So I like to be thorough, so I included whom, but realistically, whom is disappearing from English. The only place where I do see whom being used is to whom it may concern in an email when you don't know who will receive it. But I'm going to give the complete explanation. Whom is for an object, who for the subject. But in both cases, we are talking about a person. Now, why do I use these relative pronouns when I have two ideas and I want to connect them to sound a little less redundant? So I could say the woman lives next door. I could say the woman is a doctor. So I don't have to have those choppy sentences. I say the woman who lives next door is a doctor. I could, of course, switch it for the woman that lives next door. But think of that like a two. If you know how to play buraco, you can pretty much put it most places, but it will never be perfect. So we have who, we have whom. If it's for the object, the doctor whom I met the doctor. I am the subject. The doctor is the object in this sentence. So whom would be the 100% Sheldon Cooper answer? I also do not know many people. Actually, I don't know any people who speak like that. Next up, whose. Why did I put it here second? Because this is the one that you cannot switch for that. The man whose car was stolen called the police. I think it's because the two ideas, in one case, the man called the police. The second one, his car was stolen. So one, the man is the subject, the other is the car. I think it might be because of this, but you cannot use that in this sentence. So this one is not an option, it is a necessity. Number three, and if you remember these three, I'm happy for today, which. And when we are learning about these WH words, who, what, when, where, why, which, and who, what, when, those are it. We learn that what is for an object and which is for options. In this case, you cannot use what as a relative pronoun. You have to use which. I think the logic is since I am offering the sentence, the book, you know what it is. It's no longer ambiguous. Like if I say, what is your favorite food? You can say rice, you can say pizza, you can say, I like to chew on pens. And you will be correct. So I think it's which because you have the specific word it's referring to right there. But most important thing to remember, no what's as relative pronouns. You could, of course, say the book that I read, which sounds a little bit cooler. And that, our joker, the same way that I could switch other words for that, I could also say the car which I bought last year is red. And the last two, which I think are a little bit less common, but just like we ask where to know about a place, we can use where. 4 places. This is the cafe where we first met. That was a day when I lost my keys. So this is the new Netflix series that everybody's talking about, The Witch of Hollow Hill. And ChatGPT helped create it. We will be adding these relative pronouns. I did include whom, but the idea is that you need to use each of them just once without repeating. My tip, save your that as long as you can. This movie is great. We watched it this week. A lot of fun. It's like an AI Chucky. I think that's the best way to put it. But we had a lot of fun. The dance corridor scene was memorable. I will leave it at that to not give you any spoilers. But what's the best horror movie you've ever seen? Too many people are like, I don't watch horror movies. Fine, but watch horror movies this week. This is Halloween week. That's the correct week for this. That's your homework. Go watch a horror movie if you haven't seen one in a while. Oh, but it's scary. Yes, that's the point. Be scared if you watch a scary movie. The other stuff seems silly. So it's a good choice. Don't wait for life to scary. Now, so leave a recommendation of a show or a movie to watch this week. Shout out to my group from Rio, the T-Shades English. They had lots of good recommendations. They knew all of their horror movies. They recommended the Thai horror movies. They said Thailand horror movies were excellent, and I can confirm one called Shudder from 2004, which has a very memorable final scene that I have never forgotten. Our talking point was Halloween and a little activity that I've practiced. I think it's very difficult, but to make a 3-sentence horror story. Here's one example here. And last up, our challenge, horror movie night. Watch one in English. Invite a friend if you don't want to watch it by yourself. But that's what I've got for you. Team, thank you. Like always, I hope to see you in class. Have a good one.